another video. So in this video, we are going to discuss about the lab topology. So this is what my lab topology will be. So it is not 100% correct or accurate. We might change in future videos if you like according to our requirements. But anyhow, you can see that DC1 and DC2, I will be using this one as a C8000H V, and then this is a DC2, I will be using CSRV. And again, this all branch 1. Branch 2, you see that I do have two devices on the branch 2, and both of them are connected to the internet as well as the MPLS links. So logically seeing, I do have branch 2. This one is device 1, this one is device 2, connected to the internet, both of them, and also connected to the MPLS, both of them. So I have just why I just inserted one router over here so that I can save the space in the topology itself. All right, so we do have a branch 2 with a dual router and dual connectivity with both, so that we do have multiple paths in there. And the branch 1 and branch 3 and branch 4, all of them are the same, and we are going to use the vEdge cloud for the branch 1, 2, 3 and 4. And again, for the headquarters, I will be using one router as the ISR V router, and another one I will be using as the vEdge router. Um, we'll try to use the ISR. If not, I will be using the vEdge, because ISR, the router will consume a lot of resources. So it's actually similar to C8000 as well as the CSRV. So when we do the provisioning for these two devices, it will be exactly the same for these devices. So I will just go with the vEdge only, not with the ISR. All right. So let's look at the resources now, how much we do required. So we manage it. You can go with 8 GB of RAM if you're running a version between 8.0 to 20.5. But from 20.6 to 20. Maybe 13, I think you do require a 16 GB of RAM. And again from 20.9, from 20.10 to later on, you do require more RAM, that is 32 GB of RAM. So yep, 20.10 will take a lot of resources, so I will request to go with 20.6 version only. So vManage will take 16 GB of RAM. Let me erase this one. And the vSmart will take 2 GB of RAM, and the vBond will take 1 GB of RAM. And again, the vEdge clouds will take only 1 GB, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 GB of RAM. And these DC1 and DC2 will take 4 GB each, that is 8 GB. And again, we are using headquarters vEdge, that should be 2. So I will just change it over to 7 over here. And again, you see that I do have one ASA router that will take 1 GB of RAM. And I do have the different VPNs, that is VPN 10, 20, 30 and 40 respectively, and I will be using a single router. I will create a VRFs on that one. So I will simply implement the VRF so that I don't need multiple routers. So I can go with 512 MB of RAM each. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So that means 3.5 GB. Alright, so we have the ASA, we got the everything. That should be all good. So 16, 3, 19, 26, 27, 35. Almost it is coming to the 38.5, like 40 GB. So in order to implement this lab, what I am going to, you need at least 40 or 40 GB of RAM, but I do have 64 GB. I can allocate 45 GB to the Eve NG. Don't worry about the images. I will provide you the images or just message me and I can give you the access to download the images. All right. So now you can see that multiple routers. So some of the examples have the dual routers, dual connectivity, multiple paths, and another has the normal dual connectivity. Okay. And the headquarters will have two links connected over here. So which we will look into it, why we have connected those two extra links. But if you see that only each device is connected only to one transport interface. All right, so I have given the information in the topology itself over here, what will be my management, business internet, and MPLS, and what are the different device types I will be using, and what are the network details over here. All right, now what we are going to do is that as per our topology, we have now calculated the RAM, but with the CPUs also we have to calculate. So with the vManage, we do require 4 CPUs. 2 is also good, but it will go a little bit slow. With the vSmart, we have one. For ASA, we have one. For all the 7 VHs, we got only one. That is 7 CPUs. And here 2 CPUs for 2 devices. And we do require 2 CPUs each for the CSRN 800. So that will be 4 CPUs. And 1 GB, that is for ASA, only one. And 3.5, that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 CPUs for the routers. So you see that there is a lot of CPU requirements over here, but again, you do not require that many. You can just assign even G with the 12 virtual CPUs or maybe 8 virtual CPUs. That should be also all good. But the main, most important part is your SSD, the speed of SSD. According to the speed of the SSD, you will have a performance issue. So if your SSD speed is anywhere between 500 to 1 gigabytes, your vManage will be a little bit slow. If it is between 1 gigabytes to 2 gigabytes, it will be much better. But if it is more 2 gigabytes till 7 or 8 gigabytes, the performance will be very much like a different. So it will be a very good performance. So my SSD performance is lies between 2 to 7 GB. That is read and write is 3.5 GB per second. So according to this speed, your vManage will perform very well in the hard disk. So yes, hard disk also makes a lot of difference in performing these virtual machines. The better the hard disk, it will perform the better. So now, in my case, I will be assigning 12 virtual CPUs to the event G with 45 GB of RAM and 1 TB of virtual hard disk. I do have 2 TB, but again, it doesn't utilize. If 500 GB is usually people give it, and that is more than enough. You do not require more than that until and unless you are what do we say, installing all different types of devices. But according to this topology, 500 GB or even 300 GB should be more than enough hard disk for the event G. So I hope this is requirements are very much clear, and let's start off with the implementing of our topology in the next video. I hope this was informative for you, and thank you.